significance of our Juneteenth event is really to delve deeper into our culture and our history and understanding it and taking pride in it, but also the education of it. Some of these things are not taught in school, and so we want them to have that pride of the Black culture, but also to understand the history that may not be taught in school, and also to be able to share that information with others. And so this whole Juneteenth obviously has been around for a long time, but there's such a huge focus on it now. Companies and businesses and organizations are really focusing on honoring this day, but it's important for everyone to understand how this day came about and the real, true history of it. And so today is not only about that, but everything that's happened since then as it relates to the Black culture, as it relates to justice and injustice, as it relates to the people that have been working hard for equality and equity and inclusion and diversity. And one of those companies is Raymond James, who has sponsored this opportunity for us today, but have pumped $1.5 million into Black communities across the country in order to have days like today. So we're incredibly thankful. We wanted to support Black business today. We also want to give that education to our kids to make sure that they're armed with the right information.
So, Juneteenth is about freedom. And, my addition to this event was talking about the freedom of mental health, being mentally free of the things that can maybe hold us down. And so this event allows these young ladies to just learn several ways of wellness, to try to better understand you and what you need. Think about the young ladies. That was very interesting. They're aware. They know the importance of mental health. So this event allows them to have this honest dialogue without, being filtered, but also learning. So that was nice.
I think mental health is a really big thing to talk about because I know a lot of people who struggle with it. It shouldn't be seen as like something to look down upon. I think it should be like talked about more so that people aren't as like ashamed of having it.
Most of the people I know who took out a credit card, within their first year, there was like thousands of dollars in the hole. Because they just didn't think like, oh, I have to pay this off like immediately, and so the longer that you go without paying it off, your bill just balloons and balloons with these interest rates. And you check the interest rates, a lot of them is going to say between 24% and 28%, and that's a lot.
The mental health workshops and the credit workshops, it just gave more information about things.
I enjoy being here. I learn a lot that I wouldn't learn at school about Juneteenth and other things such as mental health and like financing.
I rocked her in the cradle, and she was a good baby at first, but then she started crying. Well, I was supposed to know what to do, but I didn't know what to do.
I really appreciated the act of like storytelling where she became the person she was actually enacting.
Juneteenth is still shrouded in a lot of myth. And that myth, in many cases, is meant to diminish the efforts and the activism of African Americans. And it blows up the freedom part, but it plays down how African Americans played a role in their own freedom struggle.
Because of them, I am me. These rights I have were not free. Because of them, I can stand. The words fight and freedom go hand in hand.
So Raymond James made this commitment to Black communities across the country, and we are one of just a handful of organizations within Michigan, let alone the city of Detroit, that they selected in order to provide financial support for, specifically as it relates to Black culture and awareness and empowerment, and also financial literacy and mental health awareness. So not only do we have these vendors here that our public can take a part of, but of course, as we know, when you're a teen girl, you don't have a lot of money. So the funds also enabled us to provide each child with a stipend that they can use to support these Black-owned businesses.
They have very nice stuff, and the information we got today in the workshops and stuff just made me appreciate everything more, and especially about Juneteenth.
Thank you, Raymond James, for sponsoring this event.
It made me feel like empowered.
Juneteenth.